today's video, we're going to be seeing what's going on with the number 2 fuel injector, because it is leaking when the engine's running from the high pressure fuel pump. Once I start it, there's a fuel injector back there that just starts pissing gas. Hey, this car was worked on before, and they asked me to check it out, see what's going on, because they did do something with the fuel injection, because they were getting gas smell inside the car. And apparently after the fix, it's even worse now. If you look right here, you can see it leaking gas, and that's the number 2 injector. But yeah, so that's leaking. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this intake manifold off so we can get to the injector and see if it's the O-ring that sits against the head or the actual injector that's leaking. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to release the fuel pressure. The fuel pump is right there, the 20 amp, which is going to be this yellow one. The 20 right there. So we're going to go ahead and pull that, start the car, and relieve the fuel pressure. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull it. Easy. Now we're going to go ahead and start the car. Now we go ahead and take off the battery. So it looks like a 10 mil. First thing I want to take off is this air box that goes from the air filter all the way to the throttle body. So you got a couple lines over here. One mount. Another vacuum line right there. And then the bottom mounts right there. Okay, now I'm going to start just taking everything, all the wiring harnesses that's clipped all around the intake manifold, on all these brackets. So you got 3 clips up here. They just, you pull out on them. So that gives me some room. First one I'm going to take off is this exhaust side camming, or cam timing. All you got to do is squeeze it, pulls right off. Then once I take this one off, this whole harness pulls back. So for that blue one to the right, you just got to pull up on that white tab. On this middle black one, you got to squeeze it, pull up, and same for the left one. Okay, I got those 3 off. And there you go. The last one on the left side, you had to pull it out from the middle of the engine and then just pull out the plug. Looks all clear on the left side, and then the last thing on this side, it looks like this plug, which I can't squeeze the tab to unplug it from here, so I'm gonna have to take off this bracket, 10 mil, and then a plug down there. I'm gonna take off this bracket for this wiring harness. 2 more sensors. There's this one right here and one right there. And that one looks like just like a squeeze one. I just got under it and I lifted it up. That one's off, and now we just got one more. Just gonna pry up on that tab. Now with that off, I'm going to take off this last 10mm bolt. So these 2 hoses right here, they're attached. One's into the manifold down there and one's to the throttle body. I'm going to disconnect both lines from right here, these 2, and then that bracket's going to come along with the manifold. Alright, those 2 vacuum lines are off now. Now we can just get the last 2 hoses, I believe, that are on the throttle body for coolant. And so the coolant hoses are that one right there. And the bottom goes to the bottom of the throttle body, but I'm going to take it off from right over there since it's easier access to that clamp. There's no access to get to the clamp on the bottom one. So I'm going to start off with the bottom one and we're going to take it off. Two 12mm nuts on top, and then 3 bolts on the bottom, one right there, one in the hole, and then one on the right side, right there. Right there, there's a support bracket that supports the weight of the manifold, so not everything is resting on the top plastic part. So there's a 1 bolt right there and one right there that's kind of in the shadow. And those on the under tray, it's just a bunch of 10 mils and screws, number 2 screws. So just go ahead and take that off. Well, I forgot to freaking press record. I don't know if I recorded when I took this off, but take off the mount that holds this radiator hose and it moves up and down. Pull it up, and after that it just comes right out. Alright, with the intake manifold off, everything is easy access for this fuel rail. 3 bolts and then 1 B-nut. Once we take that off, this whole assembly comes off. I don't think I showed you taking off the fuel rail. All I did was take out the 3 bolts evenly that hold the fuel rail together, and then you have to spread out these 2 little legs around this little these 2 tabs, and that's what holds it on when you press everything in. So you got to spread it out. I pulled this first one out a little bit, and then it gave me easier access to this one, and then everything else just slowly started walking out. And once you do that, this whole fuel rail comes out, so make sure you have a rag or something under it to catch any gas. And once you get the rail off, now you have access to all your injectors. So when I pulled off the number 2 injector, which is that guy, I ended up finding this. O-ring is destroyed. So this was our culprit. caused it to leak. And I believe the reason why is, if you look at this other fuel injector, pressure is coming here, high pressure coming from here. It should be hitting the O-ring, the blue O-ring first, and then hitting the retainer should be behind it. And you can tell because look at all that O-ring just getting eaten up right there by rubbing against the black plastic from the injector. So if you can see, this one's starting to go too. Shop that did the stuff last time, they didn't put these back on correctly, and number 2 injector just decided to give out first, but the other ones look like they're ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and reseal all of them and orient them correctly, and we should be good to go. Okay, so with the brass pick, squeeze the O-ring to get behind it and just get under it, and then lift it over, and then your O-ring comes off. Just very minimal. Try to get one leg over and then walk the rest without trying to stretch it too much. So I'm going to clean the sealing surface, get all the old seal that was starting to disintegrate off. This does have 2 different sizes, or a different lip. It's a flat side on one and it's a stepped on the other. You're going to want to put the flat side against the seal, so putting this onto the injector, you're going to want the step side down, because you want the seal to go against a flat surface. Minimal stretch around it, get one side in, hold it, and walk the rest of it around, and there you go. I'm going to take a O-ring, I'll lube it up a little too much, and you're just going to walk it around. Clean off any excess off top, and there you go. Got one ready to go in. So now with that, I'm going to do the rest of them. Okay, I have all 4 injectors resealed the correct way, and you can see how all of them are starting to get chewed up. And this is on the back side that was rubbing into the plastic. We can go ahead and put the fuel right back on. Okay, I don't know what the torque is on that. I cannot find it online. So once everything bottomed out, I just gave it like a 1/4 of a turn, or like a 1/6 of a turn. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back. That was a lot faster putting all that stuff back on than it was taking it off, that's for sure. And I'll finish off with the intake and start it up. Okay, so now everything is connected. I double checked everything, oil's good. Checked all the connections and all the vacuum lines and the coolant lines, everything's on. So now we're gonna go ahead and start it. Okay, I can see cylinders 1 and 2 and 4, but I can't see number 3 because it's all the way in there and yada yada. And right there where it used to leak, it's all bone dry. My battery's about to die, so I'm gonna call it good. Here's number 1. No leaks. So hopefully this video helps y'all. Yeah, y'all have a good one.